Welcome to the station crew. Enjoy your stay.
Alright, welcome back to Space Station 14. This will be another series of rounds taking place on Wizard's Den's Lizard server. This time we're going to be doing a lot of combat. And not just a lot of combat, but a lot of nuclear rounds, as these following clips are coming from a series of interwoven in the same play session rounds. In fact, I think they're all one after the other. So here you can see we're on the first round. We're playing as security, and nuclear operatives declare war on the station, so we get to arm up first and foremost. Which means that, as our security, we get to be fully combat oriented. We don't have to be a hybrid role, like a medic or an engineer, who has to carry a bunch of engineering equipment in their bag, while at the same time having some side weapons. We have dedicated armor, dedicated first pick of weapons, and specialized equipment, and fully combat set gear, so a combat belt, a combat gas mask, that kind of stuff. So anyway, we decide to arm up. We get an upgrade, as we get to leave behind our assault rifle for instead a submachine gun, which is particularly good for what I'm about to do. The submachine gun is usually the strongest weapon for the crew, as it can be used one-handed, which means you can have in your other hand a bunch of other options. For us, it's going to be a shield. So as you can see, here's my loadout. We have some advanced medication, a belt full of ammo, some more ammo in our backpack, a submachine gun, a stun weapon, and I'm going to be using... because I have a shield and a submachine gun, I'm going to head to space, which means I will have to leave behind my backpack, but that's fine. I do like fighting in space. I think of it as my specialty. So as you can see here, we head out. We have to use our backpack slot for our jetpack, so we leave behind our backpack and only take essential supplies, so a shield, submachine gun, air, a backup weapon, and some ammo. The nuclear operatives that hit the AI from the outside, usually, which means it's quite an easy job for us to strafe around in their backside, blocking the retreat if they try ever to retreat. But we won't be the only ones who had this idea. Anyway, as you can see here, we're just trying to watch. I'm trying to turn my camera to see further into the destroyed wall, but that's not gonna happen. I make sure to stay out in space, otherwise we're gonna have our jetpack disabled. Our shield currently blocks, I think it's 50% of the damage, plus our armor, which is 50% resistant. So I think, if the math is right, we take about 25% damage as long as our shield is up. Anyway, you can see we've used all the ammo just trying to suppress the nuclear operatives. People in a shuttle are also heading this direction. Be firing on the nuclear operatives with lasers, which means that they're gonna try and back away from this location too. So I do a small flank. I can simply just blew up. And this guy over here in an elite suit, which while it is resistant to explosion, is quite weaker against bullets, gets killed. Huzzah! It was their grenade launcher person. So that's one down. There's a team of 5 usually, plus maybe any reinforcements. But we ran out of ammo, so we have to head back to reload. I can see here a salvager who didn't try and fight and took my backpack. So I make sure to say don't steal my stuff. Especially since I need the ammo right now. So we just replace and go back out. I try and hide the bag a bit, especially if they think of leaving with the shuttle. And we head out again. Same principle. We're going to be trying to pick out any of the nukies that have tried to retreat out into space. Since we have a jetpack, we'll have the superior mobility. And if we don't, and they also have a jetpack, we can try and retreat and lure them out. I can hear them close, but I don't see any. I try not to reveal my location. Just as I head out, the commander starts shooting us with a bulldog, a shotgun, but we get amazing... I'm really surprised by myself too. We get amazing distancing. As you can see, we were, as you may have seen, we were almost a screen away of distance since I could control with the jetpack, so only 1 or 2 bullets hit me per shotgun blast, while we got to have the entire mag of our SMG dumped into them. However, our shield did break. And now we're kind of bleeding out. Oh, but I do manage to rescue the AI. Since the nuclear operatives tried to take it out, we just have to connect it back on the grid for it to be back online. So they've lost 2 operatives, the commander and their grenade launcher, which means they don't, I think, they don't have the capacity to do big area attacks. So if the crew mass attacks this location, they won't have a grenade launcher to kill them all in one go. And they're probably going to be running out of ammo at this point. So we head back, we need a new shield and some meds. As you can see, the salvager looted my backpack and took the medicine, which I definitely need right now, but that's neither here nor there. We just have to move in and heal up. Somewhere. Actually, I'm barely scratched, really. So, at this point, I think, why don't I just attack the nuclear operatives from the inside now? I take off my jetpack, pack up our gear, and start heading out with our sidearm. And grenades. But just as we head in, we can see that the crew has killed 1 operatives down there. And that's it. I was quite surprised by the impact that my space attack did. That's mostly because the crew managed to push back the nukies out into space. Anyway, here's another round. Once again, nuclear operatives attacking the station. This is the round after. Nuclear operatives attack the station, but this time instead of declaring war, they did it by surprise. However, they attacked from cargo, if I remember right. Cargo or security. So there's plenty of weapons available for the crew. Anyway, I try and get the air back in here, as most things are spaced. Not sure what's happening, as this CMO is not really focused, it seems, on healing people. But whatever. It looks like they try and get the security fabricator back into their own office for whatever reason. Which is not really a good idea, as we kind of need that ammo and stuff for ourselves right now. Whatever it can fabricate, really. Anyway, I don't really have a weapon right now, so I'm focused mostly on doing repairs. I don't really have any combat gear, really. Just focus on getting air back into the station. So people without any hard suits or space suits can operate normally and support against the nuclear operatives. So by hacking these air alarms and putting them to fill, we can forcefully dump the air inside the distro network out into the lobby. Which, even though it gets spaced every now and again, it does mean that it's as the doors get opened and things get spaced, it should refill the station with air. Anyway, this atmospherics technician here tells us that they got a bulldog, which is a nuclear operative shotgun, or a syndicate shotgun. And as they've been quite injured, they can't go back into the fight right now. So instead they pass it to me. We have a hard suit. So it means that we can somewhat effectively go and fight. So, and also the AI did tell us that the nuclear operatives were in cargo, so we head out for an assault with a couple of other people. As you can see, we have quite a force attacking. But if the nuclear operatives have any mass destruction weapons like a heavy machine gun or a grenade launcher, then it won't be too hard for them to fight back. Anyway, we can see that things are pretty destroyed right now. But I can see back there a monkey, a nuclear monkey with a suit on, a hard suit, a combat hard suit. So I do my best to try and steal it right now. If we can steal this combat hard suit, we can have space protection and decent armor at the same time. And speed. As compared to our engineering suit. So I steal it. Please switch out our suit. And now you can see that we're much faster. And we get one of the other nuclear operatives to surrender. As it seems like they might be the last of their squad, or they're definitely cornered as they can't leave by this door. So we just drag them back towards medical, where people who are not involved in the direct fighting can make a decision about what's going on. I get shot a couple times, but it's not enough to kill us. I try and say to stop fighting. And to make sure not that our other guy escaped. I take off my helmet so that people can see that we don't have nuclear masks, nuclear operative masks and other stuff beneath. And we pass out, but basically the nuclear operatives were defeated in that one assault. This one was more about morale than anything. As you can see, the nuclear operative just gave up after seeing how overwhelmed they were going to be. So, that's that. And also about combat sense. Anyway, this time, the next round, this time we're a nuclear operative. We're going to be skipping most of the setup anyway. It doesn't go well for us, as after, by the way, in these past three, all three of these rounds, all the nuclear operatives lost their missions. Mostly, I would say that the determining factor was that the agent, their healer, usually were new. Anyway, we headed to the station. Our plan was to hack the AI. It is hacked now on the side of the new keys, but it's not going to do much of an impact for us. So we break into the bridge. The captain was here. We also have an EMAC board, but they're not very focused on getting the captain with us. Now this is Loop Station. Loop Station is has the security and bridge right next to each other. So we have to break through and attack security before they can arm up, which hopefully the AI would slow them down with. But the new keys are just kind of standing back, not really advancing, and overwhelming laser firepower means that we can't push. So instead, we have to take a side path. Over this way. However, changing planes like that does mean that we have a high chance of having our nuclear operatives spread out. Now you may notice that I do not have a firearm, as we were thinking of attacking the AI, and then armory would give us weapons, but so be it. We're kind of injured, but not really. As you can see back here, the agent is not using chemicals to heal us, but instead topicals, which is definitely like a lesser version of itself. Slower, not as effective. It's like if topicals were tier 1 and these advanced topicals were tier 2, chemicals would be tier 3. And as we're only 5 guys fighting 80 guys, we need all the help we can get. I can see that there's somebody out there with an enforcer. I'm just praying that they don't have a spacesuit so they can't follow us into these spaced areas. Fortunately, the new keys retreated from this tile, or at least advanced from here. But they put an air canister. we just do our best to dodge the shots. We can see they don't have a spacesuit. And with this return fire, they take enough damage to be pretty much out of the fight. But in the meanwhile, the Nukies out front were kind of getting killed. They try and hide these turnstiles. And I'm not sure if this is our team using these weapons, since we do have a grenade launcher, or if it's the enemy team who have chemical bombs. So we retreat one airlock back and try to heal back our commander. While the two Nukies who didn't make it are gonna get killed, basically. We can see here a Nuki just getting killed in front of us while we heal back here. Not only do we see them getting killed, but we see them not acidifying. So, that's too bad. Also, the agent is out. In fact, that's the agent we just see over there, gasping and getting looted. One of the operatives tries and goes for a kill on somebody else, but a big explosion happens, which means that there's somebody with explosives nearby. The weakness of explosives is close range combat. So we go in for the close, and they just kill themselves. Unfortunately, this did also kill our other nuclear operative, so now we're by ourselves, and the commander just kind of left somewhere. So we're the last one left, with 2 energy swords and no weapon. So it's not looking good. As we were supposed to get the AIs back up, but it seems to not be doing much, at least for us, for our visible eyes. We don't see any bolted doors, we don't see, at least I don't see, shock doors. So, the plan is pretty much dead. But there's still hope. If we can at least get to the captain, who probably was going to be hiding near medical, then we have a chance. And since it's only me, it means we can move about kind of stealthily. So we do our best. I'm moving using the exterior walls of the station, trying to avoid sites of combat so people don't see us. We can see that the captain is somewhere in there ahead of us, but we need a weapon first. We gotta jump somebody, and as you can see over there, there's a paramedic with a gun. So make sure to try and jump them before they can escape. So, we take them down and steal their gun. Doesn't have much ammo, but it should be enough, hopefully, to take down the captain. So we're getting closer and closer to the captain, who's probably going to be just beyond this door. Right in front of us, actually. We stop unloading, getting a few hits in, we run out of ammo. And our wounds catch up to us, and we fall. So that was a series of three rounds in a row in the same play session of combat. And that was pretty fun. Anyway, see you guys around. Okay, bye, okay, bye, okay, bye, okay, bye.